The last three members of the tank corps of the combat soldiers from the armored division have come home. Today it's Wednesday evening. We heard the news this morning, last night, of Itai Chen returning, the last combat soldier to return since October the 7th. Of course, there is still one combat soldier left, the officer Hadar Golden from 9.5 years ago. Itai Chen, the last of this war, has returned. His funeral to be soon. A close friend of my son, of Daniel, Hashem Yikom Damo, Omer Neutra, also a captain in the army, who was in officer's course with him, returned the day before with one of the members of his tank, Oz Daniel. Tomorrow, 12 o'clock in Kfar Saba, the funeral of Oz Daniel. We have that to look forward to. On Friday, 10:30 in Tel Aviv, the funeral of Omer Neutra, and waiting to hear the details of the funeral of Itai Chen. So many of you from Israel around the world have sent me messages and say, Tank Perez is home, Tsevet Perez is home. So many of you have davened, and hundreds, if not thousands, if not tens of thousands around the world, not only for our son, for the return of all of the hostages, but also for the return of Itai from Tsevet Perez, after, thank God, Matan has returned alive. And there's still a number of hostages still to go. 7, I believe one is coming out tomorrow, this evening, and hopefully by the time you hear this on Shabbos, even more will be out. What nisayonot, what challenges, what trials and tribulations the Jewish people have to undergo, what tests. We know that in this week's parasha Vayeira, the famous and most difficult, arguably of all tests, VeHaElokim, nisa Avraham, and God tested, challenged Avraham Avinu. In according to most opinions, the most difficult of all tests, the 10 of his 10 tests. Why do we need to go through so many tests? The horrific test of asking Avraham to sacrifice his own son, something that God would never make Avraham do, but somehow needed him to be prepared to do it. Just an inexplicable, difficult test. And it seems that Avraham Avinu, the founding father of the Jewish people, has to undergo 10 tests. Why so many tests? What is the need for tests? Why such difficulties and challenges along the way? I think the answer is on a dual level. To give the answer of the Ramban, Nachmanides, and the answer of Maimonides, the Rambam. You see, we don't understand why God tests this person and not that one. Why one individual has to go through such difficulty and other individuals not. How does tzaddik varalo? Why it happens in that way, that this one has a difficult time and that one not, in a way that doesn't always make sense. We don't understand, and I'm not going to attempt to answer in the few minutes we have, but rather to understand what is the purpose of a nisayon, of challenges and tribulations for the individual on a personal level and for the klal on a collective level. Says the Ramban. You see, a test, a tribulation, a challenge allows the person, says the Ramban, to bring out strength, to quote him, says the Ramban, mihakoach el hapoal, to dig deep into the recess of our heart, into our metal, into our resilience, and reveal strengths that we didn't know we had. Why God does this to this one or that one, we don't know, but it reveals from within the person what they have. All of us know, and we hope never to be tested, that ultimately, when the going gets tough, the tough can get going. A person can dig deep and reveal strengths that they didn't know that they had, reservoirs of faith, of fortitude, of strength, of resilience that we didn't know that we had. Also, it says the Navy SEALs in Israel, the Shayetet, their motto is, Kshehagalim mitgabrim, when the waves become strong, Hagiborim mitgalim, the hero is revealed. You see, when we have to go through challenges sometimes in life, and all of us have to go through certain challenges, unfortunately, life is riddled with them, we're able to find strength and kochot that we didn't know that we had. We hope never to be in such a situation. Every single person, certainly our family, would have loved to turn the clock back to October 6th and for life to have been so different on that Erev Simchat Torah, but we don't get to choose our challenges often. The only thing we do get to choose is how deep we're able to dig. And I can say from my own personal experience, I found that with faith and fortitude, a person is able to find strengths and reservoirs of faith and fortitude that we didn't know that we had, and we hope to never have to reveal them in such a way. And therefore, firstly, says the Ramban, it shows that a person can find deep within themselves koach and strength that they didn't know they had to face the seemingly impossible challenges that we often face in life. And secondly and finally, says the Rambam, it's not only for the individual. He says in the 3rd chapter of Moreh Nevuchim, Guide to the Plex, he says it's for the klal. It's to reveal to all, nes milashon nisayon milashon nes, the sign nes lekabetz yatenu. It's a banner, a flag. It flags something for other people. It has an impact in the rest of the world, that when people go through challenges and hopefully are able to reveal strengths that they didn't know that they had, it can teach all people, all of us, that we all have our challenges. We all have our nisayonot. Every single person on God's earth, and certainly the Jewish people, go through challenges. It seems to be the DNA of life itself, and specifically the Jewish people. And therefore, just like Avraham passed all of these tests and revealed the metal and the strength of what it means to be the knight of faith, to quote Kierkegaard, exactly who the Jewish people are in the difficult times, so to each and every one of us, that we too can dig very deep. And at times that they seem so dark and there's no way to overcome, we can dig deep. Other people are able to do it, so can we. And all of us are able to find within ourselves the strength. I have come out of the last 2 years, and we've got a lifetime ahead, with the belief even more in the human spirit, in the nefesh Yehudi, in our ability to stand up to our challenges. And may Hashem bless every single one of you and every single one of us, and all the families now, the Neutra family, the Daniel family, the Chen family, the Hamami family, and all the families, please God, the Golden, and all the families, Bezrat Hashem, that we shouldn't have to undergo such nisyonot, that we should all be able to reveal the strengths in different times, and each and every one of us have the ability to face our challenges and overcome them the way that we often don't realize we can, but indeed we are able. Shabbat Shalom.